it's Sage. I asked you guys questions on Instagram. We got a lot of questions. I actually moved to Atlanta 5 years ago from Delaware. I just took a long drive and I came kind of on a whim. I didn't have a job, I didn't have any friends, I didn't have a place to live, but I did have a degree. And I'm not gonna lie, I just figured it out. I was like living in the car with Bessie in clothes and my Nissan Altima. I went to college. I went to Delaware State University in Delaware. I started 2010. I graduated 2013. My biggest financial losses were trusting people with my future and my money. And I finally stepped away, yo. Like, I finally stepped away, and that's why I created my agency. And all the people that I used to partner under and work with or for now work for me. So it's like, it's crazy how the world turns. Like, I spent most of my life working and serving people, and the second that I trusted someone to get me into an entrepreneur role, they kind of humbled me, like, without even intending to, and I lost everything. I had to live off my life insurance, my savings, even the investments. Like, I literally had to take out money from life insurance that my parents had vested when I was a child, and that money was supposed to go to like another level of education for me. I was supposed to get my MBA, but instead I paid it to pay my bills. Like, I went through so much, was on unemployment and everything, and I never let anyone know. And it was all because I chased a dream about wanting to be an entrepreneur, but I was lied to by the people that I worked with. And now I'm my own boss and I don't have to worry about any of that. So now every time like my clients pay, they pay me. They don't pay nobody else. Go to networking events. People are there to talk to people, so people are naturally gonna come up and talk to you. Go to events that are like made for social activities, to where people have to be social. I didn't know anyone when I first moved here, and to be honest, like, I just made sure I was like out all the time, and I talked to people, you know. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not good at making friends either. I just start conversation. Or if someone comes up to me, like, hopefully they start conversation. I kind of wait to see if the other person is comfortable enough to like say something, but then like, I'm still introverted, but then I'm outgoing, if that makes any sense. Like, I would just tell a person, go to a networking event, try to have an open mind for new relationships, because you never know what like a person could be like. You never know what that friendship can turn into. You never know what opportunities you guys can find together and how you can be a resource to each other. You don't have to be everyone's friend, but at least be open to people who look approachable and hear their conversation. Some of my businesses are on pause because they're in the pre-launch phases. So like my beauty business, I don't make anything from that. My mentorship program, I've actually never made a dime from that, which I think I want to create an app so that I can. Ever since I was like, fresh to Atlanta, I think 2015. I've been doing it for 5 years. Like, that's a lot to not make any money. But it was like therapeutic for me to help the girls that I helped. And a lot of them ended up being my employees later on. So it kind of came back to me. With SLM, that's my agency. Yes, I do make money with that. Lit networking, I do make money with that. We do not charge for ticket sales typically, but we do charge for vendor sales. Cyber consignment, we don't really make a lot because we don't really push it. I'm really focused on my agency right now, you guys, and like the networking event honestly is one thing that it's really just a good monthly thing to have. I don't really care about making money from it. I really care about making connections from it. But as far as my business, to be honest, my bread and butter is my life insurance clients. I'm a financial advisor, which a lot of people probably wouldn't think, but I am a licensed financial advisor. I have an agency that I own. I have about 10 different partners. We assist people in their businesses, in their development, and then insurability, investment, all the way until retirement. So my main source of income comes from life insurance clients. What I would tell a person is write down everything that you'd like to achieve, and then ask yourself, is doing this gonna be able to achieve at least half of that? And if it is, keep going. If it's not, take your ass back home. But tell yourself, if I go ahead and commit to this and I make a plan and I find a way, I'm gonna give myself a couple months, and if it doesn't work out, I'll take a step back and I'll revisit things when I'm at a better place. But try your best, like, not to quit, because the more that you try, blessings come out of nowhere for people that really deserve it. And if you're in your car or if you're struggling to get to the top, I promise you, that's what you gotta go through to get there. Like, there's not gonna be any road that you're gonna try to follow that's not gonna be rocky and full of potholes. No. Anybody that's successful has taken some sort of hard road and has taken a lot of falls and a lot of homeless nights and a lot of car beds. It's like, I have too, trust me, and I live like this and I still don't give a shit. Because when you want it, you're gonna do what you have to do to get it. Just don't quit while you have it. So it was an NBA player, and he was a client of mine for 2 years, and I did not. After I left the company is when I started dating him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm that girl that wants to get up to my man with my panties on and my t-shirt. I wanna be making you already know, okay? I wanna be making pancakes. I wanna wine and dine your fine ass. Sit on my couch, just don't stain it. But sit on my couch and, like, let me get you some food, boo. Like, you know, like, let me cater to you. Shit. I like good company. I like good energy. I like genuine vibes. Like, I wanna be able to not only, you know, feel like I'm providing, but feel like I'm nurturing and you know, like, caring for someone. So, like, the best part of dating somebody is just having somebody to be like your best friend. And then when you find out that they did some fuck shit, bruh, it makes you hate everything. Like, I feel like that's why I use black hearts on Instagram. It's because, like, my heart is cold now. Like, it's frozen, it's black. And something gonna have to break it. When I found out that my ex was cheating on me, I had done so much shit for his birthday. With his bitch ass. I did so much. Like, I drove all the way. Like, I think I drove 9 hours, and I decorated, like, hotel room. I surprised him. Like, I did all this shit. I had my friend come out. Like, I got her a hotel. Like, I bought clothes. Like, I bought shoes, like a new phone, everything, bro, like everything. And then I found out he had been cheating with his best friend, and she was at the club. And, like, the thing is, his friends knew I was coming. You know, like, his friends knew because they were in on it. But I had never met her. And, like, she was always commenting on, like, my pictures and stuff. Like, she was always so supportive of our relationship. And then come to find out, the night that I leave, I go to a basketball game in my school. And, like, I'm sitting there with all my line sisters, and, like, one of my line sisters was sitting behind me, and I was, like, sitting in her lap on the bleachers. This was after I cheered. And it's like 4 of us, you know, just, like, sitting there or whatever. And, you know, I'm, like, scrolling through Instagram or whatever. And she's like, stop right there. Like, what is that? And she sees my boyfriend with his best friend in, like, a pic collage of all these different pictures of them. And it was his birthday shout out. And the caption was, like, implying something to, like, me and saying that they were, like, involved. And I'm sitting here like, hold on, wait, what? I just left a couple hours ago. I just drove 18 hours. How in the hell are you even possible? At the time, we were in the middle of a basketball game. I took my phone and all 4 of my line sisters were like, where you going? And I was like, I'm going home. They're like, where you going? I was like, I'm going to go pop up back on his ass. They all followed me. They all came to my house. It was some fucking goons, bro. I gave everybody clothes. I'm like, take this. It's all black. Take this. I gave everybody clothes. I'm like, listen, everybody get clothes. Like, we going out there. Like, if y'all gonna come with me, y'all need to be in all black. Can't nobody see y'all. We take everything we can think of. Like, pots, pans, empty bottles of Ciroc, like, crowbars. Like, we ready to fuck some shit up. And we get in the car at probably like 10 p.m. We don't get there until 6 a.m. And we get to the location 6 a.m. in the morning. It's cold as shit. My knees are buckling, okay? It's so cold outside. We drove one of my line sisters' cars so that it wasn't my car, obviously, once we got there. But I had gotten confirmation, even just driving up there, his family had called me and let me know that he was cheating. And I'm like, yo, like, it hadn't even been a couple hours and I just found all this out. Like, that's crazy. But he had been cheating. So I had cut my phones off after a while, you know, just so I really just couldn't be followed. And we get there and like, we get there ready to fuck shit up. And when we get there, I'm looking at his mom's house and I'm like, I can't fuck this lady's house up. And I look at his car and I'm like, I can't fuck this man's car up either. And we got a car full of ammo. Like, it's the purge night, okay? It's Rona, okay? Shit's real, okay? And they all ready, like they're ready to like say, which want me to fuck up first? You want me to get the tires? Like, want me to get the windows? And I'm like, nah, let me wait until his mom leaves. So we sat there for probably like an hour and a half until his mom, because his mom worked morning shift. So we waited until his mom drove off. We just sat there outside the house just waiting. Like, half of us were asleep, but you know, I was awake pretty much the whole time just to make sure the coast was clear and shit. Once his mom leaves, I go up to the doorbell. I ring the motherfucking doorbell. And my line sisters are behind me. He comes to the door. And it's a glass door, and he's like, yo, who are they? It was like that man seen the Holy Ghost, child. It was fucking hilarious. So like, my line sisters, they all got their shit in their hands, and then they hear him, they just drop everything and just laugh at his ass. And I'm like, you a bitch. Like, you such a bitch. Like, you such a bitch. You got the sneakers on that I bought you. Like, you know, like, I'm just like, damn, you really a bitch. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I only wanted one thing, and it was one thing I had left at his house, and he would not open the door. And he called the police on me because I would not leave his house. The police ain't even do shit. All they said was, you know what, ma'am? Obviously, this is a bad man. You can let us know what you'd like to do, but right now you are on their property. And I was like, their property? I'm like, he don't even got shit. Like, I'm the one that helps with this shit. Like, what? And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I didn't do anything because I just couldn't mess up someone else's home. Had that had been his home, I probably would have fucked shit up. But because I know that like I had already done some destructive shit like to his car when he did something to me, like I had learned my lesson with that I was like, let me not touch the house because that's not his house, that's his mama's house. But I did drive all the way up there to show like, bitch, I'm not playing. And after that, I never did no real crazy shit. That was it. But that's pretty crazy. Just a loyal, godly man, child. That's all I want. It's just a loyal, solid, godly man who can be secure with himself, with me, who is educated, who's smart, who knows both sides of things. Like, I need somebody that can hold his own. I hate to say it, but like, you have to to at least be on my mental level. Like, if you're not on my mental level, it honestly is annoying because it's like dealing with the child. I don't want to babysit anymore. Like, I'm too grown for that, and I feel like I always date older anyway. That's been just the way that I've been set up since I was a child. I mean, since 14, I always dated people at least 3 years older than me. Somebody that has to care about their appearance. Like, if you don't care about how you come off as a person, like as a man and as everything else, as a businessman, whatever, you have to care about how you look. You have to be clean. You gotta have like decent teeth. Like, hygiene has to be on another like level. Any smells, you're out. Okay, like after the gym, that's fine, but like, I ain't even gonna lie, like I had one after the gym, like let me tell you, he was never musty. I used to be like, damn, how he's so clean. Like, it was like he powdered for a living or something. Like, he was just always so clean. But yeah, so no excuses to you dirty balls, okay? But when it comes to like cleanliness, that's just important because like I have to be next to you in your space. Like, I'm not gonna be cooking pancakes and shit and like you smell like belly button. Like, that's not happening. I wouldn't call it finessing. I will call it I'm being myself and people do what they want, but I let people know, like, I hate to say it, like, if you're gonna come around and come between me and my time, like, you have to be adding to it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be in my time because my time is essential. Like, I spend most of my time working. So if you do wanna be in my space, you have to be providing something towards my day-to-day. Like, bettering me as a person or something. And a lot of men take it upon themselves to buy gifts in order to buy my time. There's a lot of gifts that I have turned down, okay? There's a lot of rings, a lot of cars, a lot of Rolexes, a lot of shit that I have turned down. But when it comes to my business and someone's trying to invest in the business, sign here, sir. When I first moved to Atlanta, I lived here for a week. This is actually what made me get off of Twitter. Like, I got off of Twitter because after this I was scared. I was like, oh nah, they can find me. They see me, they know where I'm at. I got a DM from this boy. I remember I had been living in Atlanta for a week. And those of you that have been following me since like 2013, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I went ballistic on my Instagram. My shit was like a show. Like, it's always been some crazy shit. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, you only been in Atlanta a week and all this shit is happening to you. So, I was about to go out with my sorority sisters. And, I remember we're all getting dressed, like everything. And someone sends me a DM and says, hey, did you just take a picture of your food and post it twice? And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, like, I think like this page or whatever is portraying to be you. There's a picture of your food and it's on here, like on your page and on this other page. And it was a page called Sage Chanel. And I'm like, that's not my page. So then this guy reached out under the picture I had posted before I went out that night. It was a Friday. And he commented and said, call me. So I was like, all right, like that's just a regular person just trying to talk to me, whatever. So I ignored it. He commented again on another picture, which was the picture of the burgers. And this is back when I ate meat, by the way. And I'm like, he commented again and said, hey, check your messages. So I never like checked them that night. Until like maybe like 3 or 4 in the morning as we were like coming home from being out. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was lit as hell. Like this is my first time being out in Atlanta. Like I had only lived here a week. And I looked at my phone and I got a DM from the same guy that told me to call him. And he's like, hey, I've been talking to like this girl that I think has been like pretending to be you for the past 3 years. And she's saying that her name is Sejal. And I was supposed to meet her like tonight, but I see that you're in Atlanta, and she told me to meet her in Delaware. And I was like, what? I get a call probably like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm hungover. I go to the Checkers that used to be downtown next to Varsity, and I go to like get like just like fries and a Coke, and he calls. And as he calls, I'm in the drive-thru, and he starts telling me about how this girl has been betraying to be me for the past 3 years and damn near knows my whole life from social media. She was reposting my family. She had been talking to him for 3 years. He was about to propose to the bitch. He was about to drive all the way to Delaware, and my ass had just moved to Atlanta, and he lives in Atlanta. The girl knew different things, but didn't really know how to pronounce my name, but had put pieces together for my social media and had been like catfishing people for years. Was following like 1,600 men. And of course people are following it back because they're like, oh, like, hey sis, like, you know, who knows who else she catfished? I noticed there was other people that followed me that followed that page. And I guess she was telling him it's a backup page. When I went to go on it, I was blocked. Person, but I'm very self-conscious about a lot of things. Like, I don't think there's one part of my body that I like at all. Like, I could find a flaw with everything if that was like a thing. But I had one big flaw that I tried my best to avoid fixing, but yeah, I got it fixed. And I told so many people that like I was already self-conscious about it. Like, I always wore really loose clothes like growing up because I was so body conscious, and I felt like my body just wasn't proportioned in the areas that I wanted to be proportioned. And I got so much heat from it from people because they would look at me and they'd be like, damn, like, you know, like everything on her just seems like it's all put together except like she don't have no ass. And I always had wide hips, I've always had thick thighs, I've always had like a curvier look, I guess I should say. But I didn't look like none of my family. I'm like, yo, like, I got these big ass boobs, like, I got this wide ass butt, but like no fat in my ass. Like, I was as wide as I am now. That's pretty fucking wide, dog, for a girl that's 4'10" and a half. And I just didn't have no, like, you know, like, I didn't have no, you know, like, that's what I was missing. So I started to do my research when I was a sophomore in college. And I used to tell people that I was close with, and I used to be like, every time somebody would like talk shit about something, I was so cool so people really wouldn't talk about me. But if anybody was to talk shit, they knew that that was the one thing that would get to me. Because it was the one thing that I knew was a flaw of mine. I just, I hid it really well. Like, I would hide it with like loose pants and like loose dresses and like, you know, like long coats and like all that. A lot of people, unless you had like really seen me all the way like undressed, would you know that I even like didn't have an ass. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna get my shit done, because I had been living in Atlanta for 2 years and I had a trainer for a year and a half, and the trainer kept telling me like, you know what, like, we're just gonna make sure that like, you know, you just keep working out, like just keep doing like your lunges and everything. And my body was in the best shape that it had ever been. Like my BMI, like everything, like my body fat, like everything was like lit. And I still had no ass, and I was like, okay, you know what, like, you're lying to me, bro. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to get a bigger ass, like, by working out as much as I had. I've been a cheerleader all my life, I've been in sports all my life, but like, why do I still not have the oomph that I want? So, I knew that there were 2 choices that I had. Well, technically 3: implants, shots, or a fat transfer. I did my research and I'm pretty smart, and I was like, nah, like there's no way I'm getting shots. There's absolutely no way I'm getting an implant. But I was too skinny to get a fat transfer. So I gained about 30 pounds, and I'm still struggling to lose that shit. But I gained about 30 pounds. I developed a whole bunch of stretch marks on my body. My arms got really big. My boobs got really big, like long stretch marks. My stomach has 1 stretch mark. And I got so insecure. Like, I was more insecure at the time of my surgery than like as a kid, because I had never seen myself fat before. And I had only gained the weight just to get the surgery. And I was like not wanting to go out. I was wearing waist trainers. Oh my God, it was so uncomfortable. And people were just like, what the fuck? Like, you're gaining so much weight. Like, what is wrong with you? But that's the thing. My body wasn't even allowing me to gain weight for like the first month and a half, because I was so used to being on a regimen of working out, staying active, that I was trying to eat everything that I could, like cake, ice cream, pizza, burgers, like fries. Like, I just tried to eat every unhealthy thing that I always avoided. I tried to eat. And I know I wanted to gain the weight, and I knew the only way to gain it was to not eat as well. So that's what I did, and I paid cash for it. Which is funny, the NBA player that I was talking to, he actually offered to pay. He offered to pay 10 grand towards it, and I told him no, because I didn't want anyone to ever have the ability to say like, oh yeah, I blowed her up. So I told his ass no, and I used my tax return to pay for it in cash. And it was the most gruesome experience of my life. I almost died the first day. No one knew that I went to go get it, not even my parents. I flew one of my friends out to Miami. It was crazy. I was so big, and like, I'm even still now trying to get the weight off my arms, like, and everything. And it's like, it's so annoying, because like, I am not, you look at my pictures from before, like even my friend yesterday, he was like, Sage, you were so tiny. Like, I gained so much weight just so I could get that, to where now it's like a battle of having to fight it off every other month, because it's like my body's confused, you know what I mean? Like, fat cells have been transferred, but when people ask me like, is your ass real? My ass is real. Was I born like this? No. So I do want to get a reduction, truly, because I feel like for what I'm looking to do and my level of profession, after I got it done, I saw myself being self-conscious about it being so big. So, like, no one in my business world has ever seen my body unless I've taken my suit jackets off. But I've always kept like suit jackets, turtlenecks. Like, that's why when people see me in the business setting, I look like a lawyer. Like, I'm very covered up, but it's still sexy. It's just not provocative. And I feel like because my body looks like this, I get a lot of assumptions from people thinking that I do things that I don't. I do want to get some things done to my face. I told myself the only thing that I probably would ever get done, I would straighten out my nose, but I don't know if I want to get a nose job, just because like if you see my nose, it's like has a little curve to it, and I want to make sure that the fat under my neck, my mom has a thyroid issue, so I want to make sure that the fat under my neck does not develop how my mom's is, because my mom has like a moon shape that she developed as she got older because of her thyroid condition. So I want to make sure that the fat cells in my neck are killed before they get too big. If it's gonna make you feel better, like, and change your mindset and make you feel like the person that you really just like want to be, do it. Like, do what makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. Like, I can tell you, it enhanced my confidence a lot. It did make me feel self-conscious because so many people were talking about me after, but like, I didn't know how to handle it. Like, people were sending me like pick stitches and everything, asking me all these different questions. I blocked damn near like my entire school because it was such a surprise to people that I was so young getting something like that done. At the time, nobody was really getting stuff like that done. And now there are a lot of like, you know, underground enhancements that people use. Like, I really did it the right way. And I did it randomly. So I just think that what a lot of people don't realize is your confidence speaks for you before you speak for yourself. And if you're confident about who you are and you're okay with being who you are, understand that everyone is not born perfect. Everyone has insecurities. And if you have something that you want to change about yourself and it's going to make you feel better, do better, live better, do it, because it truly, truly will. Like, I'm an advocate in doing things that make you feel complete and not doing it for anyone else. So the hate that I did get, I feel like I got hate from people that feel like they could like modify some shit about themselves but wouldn't. I don't think people should ever like downplay surgery. There just are people that are made genetically off. Like, I don't know anyone that is like all the way perfect, but there are some people that have perfect ass bodies and are bald headed. You know what I mean? Like, that's a modification the second you put on a wig, sis. Like, then there's people that have, you know, real small boobs and want just more a round look, or they just want fuller boobs, whatever. Okay, that's still a modification, but like, don't be upset at those people. There's transgender people that live their whole life wanting to be something else and don't make that change for themselves. Like, you can't hate a person for wanting to change. I'm so big on people and people just being happy and confident and equal in themselves that like, I just don't understand judgmental people. I have friends that are all shapes and sizes, and the reason why I'm their friend is because they're confident in who they are and they're good people. And I feel like if the world was just a kinder place and didn't care about what everyone didn't care about what everyone did, it wouldn't be so harsh and it wouldn't be so negative. And if people were just unbothered and not judgmental, you really could see how far you get ahead in life not worrying about the next person. Like, it's sick that people, I feel like, bash modifications because some of those people are the most insecure. And I'm not an advocate in extreme modifications, like, you know, like for people that have like really oversized stuff, like that's on them, you know what I mean? But like, everybody has their happiness, and I feel like if people just allowed people to be happy, then it would be a happier place. I feel like now that I've talked about it, I feel like there's another girl out there or another person that can probably relate to like even some of the things that I said, in thinking that just because like their life is at a certain place now does not mean that it's gonna stay there. And I feel like from some of the things that I have probably said, people probably feel like, oh, you know, like I could do that too. Like, you know, I wanna get this fixed, or I don't really like how this is on my body, and maybe I might have the confidence in just doing it one day and not really caring what people think because I wanna do it for me. I don't know, I feel like the video portion of, you know, me kind of breaking down why I did what I did with the surgery is hopefully helpful to someone, and I don't know, just giving them faith and knowing that like people's opinions only matter if you allow them to matter. And if you just remain unbothered and remain confident in yourself, you shouldn't have to care about what other people think anyway. I am a person, I'm a human, I'm a personality, I'm a professional, and I represent a lot of things, but I hate judgment. I hate assumptions and I hate gossip. And I feel like when I get those things on my social platforms, it's so bothering because it's like, I'm not like that. And I feel like people that ask questions are just so bold. So in order to erase any of the, in order to erase any of the assumptions or any of the questions, before you guys really dive into my YouTube and see why I do the things that I do and see where I came from and what really goes on, I can just clear the air and letting you guys know, listen, these are the questions that you probably have already had. There's a lot of things that I keep private for a reason because people are fucking mean as shit. And people don't realize how hurtful they can be when they do certain things. So now that you guys get a clear understanding of who I am and kind of what I've experienced, maybe you get a little bit more of a relative respect for me and understanding that I'm human. Like, I have feelings just like the next person does, and I have goals and I have aspirations, and I also have confessions just like everyone else does. I'm just real with it, and I feel like I couldn't be real with you guys and bring you into my actual show without putting everything out there and giving it to you raw. This is the end of the Q&A transparency video. I pray that you guys came all the way to the end because that was probably really long. Wait, let me do that over again.